So after finishing up the review of Generations Red Alert, I started thinking, my buddy Caleb's right. Red Alert's just too white. So have some blue. So this is Generations Darkmount, otherwise known as Straxus, but Hasbro couldn't get the name, so they called him Darkmount instead, which I believe is the city he ruled over. It's a very cool mold. I got this at the same time I picked up Red Alert. Actually really wasn't expecting to like this guy too much because I really don't know much about Straxus, and was really pleasantly surprised with it. The mold itself has a ton of molded details on it. For instance, you can see like the shovel there, all the little lines to make up all the armoring, with even the rivets showing up. It really would do really well with a nice extra paint job at your house there, just to bring out some of these details. It's pretty much the same way Bludgeon was, with all the extra little details. You'll notice here on this side, and maybe something you want to look out for if you're interested in picking up this mold, this is actually a part of his foot there, and the gray from his foot actually has bled through onto the blue on this particular one, so it may be something to look out for. But really, it's a very impressive armored vehicle here. The turret does go up and down, of course, and it spins 360 degrees around. Now, Darkmount comes with a bunch of accessories. Within the more recent toys, they've started releasing various weaponry with these universal clips on here. So if you look on Darkmount, you've got a number of areas here where he's got just these bars where you can peg on all the various weaponry for. Even on these handles back here that you can flip out, you can still peg on any of his weaponry if you so choose. And really arm him up. So it gives you a lot of play value for this toy, and really every little piece of armament you add to him just starts to make the truck, or the armored vehicle, more and more rugged looking. More like he's really coming in to beat you up and take your lunch money. So he comes with the 3 accessories. He comes with the missile pod, the machine gun, and I have no idea what this is. If anyone knows, let me know, because I certainly can't figure it out. They're all on ball joints, so they can be manipulated at least so much to a certain degree, limited obviously by where the socket part of the ball joint is. But yeah, it gives lots of customization options for the toy. If you just decide, you know, you don't like how it looks there, you'd rather it mounted more forward on the truck or something, you can do that too. So it's a really cool system. I'm glad to see Hasbro sticking with it. And you actually can pull them off any of the toys that they come with and throw them on there. What's that? You don't like Sea Spray being 10 times bigger? He's not mean looking enough? We'll add some more weaponry to him. Oh, Breacher, he's a cool little figure, but I'd really like to strap on some big honkin' rocket pods. Actually makes me wish I had 2 of Straxus now, so I could put one on both sides. So this is artillery mode, and I don't particularly care for it too much. It really looks like he's just stuck between transformation here. He does have the 2 flip out bars here on the back, but you basically can bring another transformer behind him and make it look like he is, you know, controlling the turret here. It's really kind of I guess something that looks like they threw it in because someone figured out how to do it, but again, it's not very convincing to me, so it's probably the weakest thing about him in my opinion. But let's go to robot mode. When transforming Straxus, make sure you pay close attention to where the little red triangles are on his thighs up there, because if you don't pay attention and put this forward, you're gonna end up with a rather inappropriate Straxus, thanks to the way his weapon is stored. So we want to turn that around and make sure that his legs are facing the appropriate direction. And there you have a Straxus in his robot mode without being inappropriate. And this guy just looks terribly, terribly mean in this robot mode here. I really like it. I wasn't expecting to like it from the pictures, like I said, and having it in hand and seeing it, I just really like how the colors play off each other. I do very much like the head sculpt, and he just looks real mean. The only gripe I have with the mold here is that the ankles are a little bit funny, because as you can see, this foot rotates in like that. So when you rotate it out, there's a real large gap here on his leg that's hollow, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like any good Transformer toy that sports a weapon, Straxus does have a way of mounting it on his back so it can be carried within the backpack. If you look inside, you can see it's held on by a peg back there, very much like the huge gun that comes with the City Commander set. So he does have a way to hold his axe there. Of course, he looks better holding it. But before I get to that, he does have a very good range of motion on his arms, being that they're on ball joints. You're kind of limited a little by the shoulder pads, but you can always move them out of the way. I haven't been able to get it to 360 without popping it off the ball joint, but that's not too big of a deal. Legs have a very good range of motion too. Knee, you do have ankle that is on a ball joint back here, so you do get some side to side motion with it, as well as forward and back, so it does give him some really nice stances for posability there that you can get him into. His hands are not just like your socket, they open and close, which is nice to see. The head does not go up and down, except for the little nod you can get for the transformation. It does turn left and right though, so it's pretty solid. If it was on a ball joint, it would be a little bit better. Now, some people may not like the fact that the back half of the vehicle basically hangs on his back, but it does make a relatively convincing looking backpack. And one thing I didn't notice when I transformed him the first time is if you look at the treads here of the vehicle, actually the inner wheels of the treads there are actually on his arm to give it that 3D effect there, and I really like that. I think that's pretty nice looking. Of course, you can have him hold his axe in any variety of ways. It seems like they really made a big push to make sure that he could hold his weapon in two hands for that just really strong looking character there. He's capable of holding it in one hand solidly. At any point, the hand does have a very good grip on the axe itself. So you can hold it anywhere, and he can hold it up. He could be swinging it, whatever you really want to do with it. He still, of course, is going to have his universal clipped accessory ports. Now, this is where I have a little bit of a complaint. It's a silly complaint, but it's stuff I wish he had. I wish he had some of those clips somewhere on the shoulder, so instead of, you know, placing this rocket pod on his backpack like this, which looks a little bit too far back to me, you could place it somewhere on his shoulder or something to give him, you know, not going to show you very easy, but give him more of that like War Machine type look. I really just think that it would have looked nicer if it was able to clip inside the backpack a little, so it was more over his shoulder. I just think it's a better looking area than clipping it to the outside. This particular weapon, the machine gun type weapon, is really hard to find a place that you can put it on him that it looks real good, just because the tab that sticks out there, so it never will really sit straight on him. And it may not bother some of you, but I guess I have some mild obsessive compulsive or something, because I just don't like how that looks. I prefer to take it and just stick it on his leg down there as if he's carrying some kind of pistol or something that he's ready to grab at any point in time should he need it. This thing, like I said, I don't know really what it is, so I suppose it looks fine when it's tacked onto his shoulder. Some kind of grenade launcher or something. I don't know what it is. While I'm sitting here looking at the back, because I've never really analyzed it very much, it appears that Straxus is a Legend of Zelda fan. Yeah, as you can see, he's got 2 of the Triforces back there. So, that is something, I suppose. But anyway, this is Straxus. And Straxus is a very, very powerful looking Decepticon to add to your collection. If you only have money for one, and I haven't picked up Soundwave, I didn't see him, so I can't tell you if I buy him, but if it's between him and Red Alert, pick him up. He is very impressive. It's a fun transformation. He looks just so good in his mode, so menacing, and well worth the cost, very much so. So this is T2RX6. Thanks for watching again, guys. Have a good one.